When you hear of the Lea Valley Lines, you probably think of what's now called the Weaver Line. But a part of the Lea Valley Line hasn't been taken over by TfL, nor has it been given any special branding. Instead, Greater Anglia operates the service today, which includes a few stations that have very unusual service patterns. Today I'll visit all of those stations, with quite a lot of silly detours needed to make it possible.
Alright, welcome to Tottenham Hale. Quite a busy station, but we're going to somewhere that's a lot less busy.
The Lea Valley Lines have some of the nicest views for any commuter line out of London, although this cloudy January day really isn't doing it any favors. But here we are at our first station, Lea Bridge.
See it, say it.
Okay, welcome to Lea Bridge. In some ways one of the newest stations in London, but also in some ways one of the oldest. Dating back to 1840, it closed in the 1980s and reopened 10 years ago in 2016.
The original Lea Bridge station is believed to be the world's first station to have its head house built on a road bridge, although today that isn't the case.
Got a typical bin bag, and a timetable here, and a little map that really shows just how isolated the station is. You can see it's just Lea Bridge on its own there. Hackney Downs is similar, but it does get a lot of overground service, so you can see that it does kind of feel like it's on its own. You can see the station also has some cycling paths integrated as part of it, and a little sign that tells you directions to other areas. That's pretty neat. Unfortunately, when the new station opened, it lost the road bridge entrance, which I think, given the historical significance of this station, it's a bit underwhelming. But oh well. At least this is easier to access for, local pedestrians and stuff.
As another train pulls into the station heading towards Stratford, I'm sat here wondering, if this is indeed a new station, and it had all its parts replaced from the old station, can we really call it the same station anymore?
I don't think I've ever seen the Liz line and Overground be solid colored lines. Like, look at this. You just don't see this anywhere else.
The backbone of the Greater Anglia fleet is the Class 720 Aventura right here, and I have a video coming out soon where I ride every single Aventura in one go and rank them all. Spoiler alert, the 720 is pretty average.
Alright, I've come back to Tottenham Hale because the train that I was on doesn't stop at anywhere I want to go. So I'm not trying to, do this efficiently or speedrun style at all, but it is really difficult to actually go to all the stations, but I'm gonna try and do it. So this is a Stansted Express service being operated by an Aventura, not a Flirt. Sucks to suck, I guess. Hartford East, that's us. And here it is.
This line has a case of what I like to call Metro syndrome. Much like Chicago's fabled regional rail system, there are plenty of limited stop services to the major city station at the end of the line, but very few, or in this case no services that make all stops. This in turn means that, as you can see in the video, there are several situations where you can't make a one-seat ride between two stations. I think this is a microcosm of a broader talking point about the UK's rail services. Because of how much weight major cities pull, London especially, more people would rather have a fast train to a major London terminal at the cost of an even clock-face schedule for local travel. I plan to make a video talking about that in more detail, so be sure to subscribe if that interests you.
Flirt. Why do I do these random trips? The audience asks. It's a question that the audience will keep on pondering until the end of the video. I'm at Ponder's End. The screen is tiny. Never seen anything like this before. But yeah, this train is only, or this station rather, is only served every half an hour. Let's go check it out until my train the other way shows up in about 10 minutes. But yeah, why do I do these things? Got some hostile benches over here. So how do you spell it? So yeah, your typical sort of suburban London station. One platform has a ramp out to some very similar looking blocks. You know, you can associate these buildings with just about anywhere in suburban London, to be honest. But at least this one has a cycle-friendly ramp. So the next two stops down the line, Meridian Water and Northumberland Park, are not served at all by any trains from this station, Ponders End. Which means I'm going to Tottenham Hale yet again. I love how every station just has the one 20-story building right next to all the ones that are like less than 10. Oh, it's busy on the platform. But yeah, let's go to Tottenham Hale one last time today. Feels like coming to Tottenham Hale 3 times in just over an hour has to be some kind of mental illness. I wonder how many times we could ride back and forth the entire Victoria line and the time it's taking me to go to all these stations that I'm going to. Need to come up with a collective name for it. The third Lea Valley line, that's currently what I'm going with, because the Overground has the first 2 Lea Valley lines, I guess. So yeah, my train will be on this platform in like 10 minutes. See if I can grab a snack or something. The Stansted Express might be a scam, as covered by Subway Express. Go check out their video. But I am eternally grateful for its existence because it allows you to ride a flirt in London, even if only for like 10 minutes at a time. I was looking at the stats, I'll put the exact numbers up on screen. Like over 700,000 people interchange at this station, never mind get in and out, interchange every year. That's like 2,000 a day.
The next stop will be Northumberland Park. Exit for Tottenham Hotspur Stadium.
So we're gonna pull in. You can see these 2 tracks where the faster services continue. Actually, no, there's another platform. Wait, what? There's 3 platforms at this station, and yet it only sees a really small number of trains. I would go out and explore, but it doesn't look very interesting, so I'll leave it to VO to explain anything interesting about the station if there is.
Hi, it's me, VO. There is one interesting fact to report here, which is that between Northumberland Park and the new Meridian Water used to be a station called Angel Road. It was closed in 2019, but up until that point, it had spent the last couple years being ranked as the least used station in London. In fact, Jeff Marshall visited it in 2018 and proclaimed it to be London's least used station. Nowadays, that honor is traded between stations on the Greenford Branch Line and the Chiltern Line in Sudbury.
Alright, finally, all the stations. Well, this train's turning back in 8 minutes, and I'd like to get back on it, so let's explore Meridian Water very quickly. Honestly, I'm kind of getting Bewley Park vibes here, a little bit, but both are Greater Anglia stations, to be fair.
Meridian Water Station itself is just one piece of a broader housing development plan. The station began service in 2019, but with the surrounding area still under construction, it only sees about 1,300 daily riders at the moment. I've seen more people on the 220 bus.
So yeah, hardly the most memorable of stations, but I have done it now. I've gone to, or at least had doors open at, all 4 of these sort of lesser served stations on what I'm now gonna run with and call the third Lea Valley line. Of course, the first 2 Lea Valley lines have regular all-stopping overground service all the time. And yeah, finally gonna get out of here. Let's go to Stratford and call it a day. Well, it is getting a bit dark soon.
So there we go. That was a quick look at the Greater Anglia Lea Valley service, or I guess services, because you can't go everywhere on a 1-seat ride. I don't think it's a bad thing for the nature of this line. It seems to be very commuter-oriented in the first place. And if you really want local travel, the Overground is literally next door. But it does pose an interesting talking point nonetheless. I'm pulling into Stratford now on the platforms that I've never used, which are the Greater Anglia platforms, of course. And that's going to be the end for this video today. A bit of a quick one, but a topic I wanted to explore nonetheless. And I definitely will talk more about clock face scheduling and how it works in the UK in much more detail in future videos. So yeah, see you later.